Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. I'm happy to be back. I haven't seen you guys in quite some time. So great to see you. All right. Without further delay, let's get right into it. I have on the agenda today, I'm going to be talking about the feud between Mohammad Salah and Yurgen Klopp. And of course, the Champions League semifinals that are coming up. So let's get right into it. So there's a feud, as everyone has seen by now, a feud between Mohammad Salah and Jurgen Klopp. And I must tell you, I am loving it. I think this is epic. When you talk about irony and poetry in motion, this has got to be it for someone in my position. I'm sure there are lots of people out there who are feeling the same way as I do. So let's get into why I'm feeling so elated about what transpired over the weekend with these two guys. Now, full disclosure before I proceed, I am not a Liverpool fan, and I'm definitely not a Mohammad Salah fan. I've never seen what the hype is about this guy. He flopped. He was at Chelsea and he flopped, and they were not wrong. First, let me talk about Salah. Salah, when I think about Salah, I think about Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, the reason for that is I see Cristiano Ronaldo as the most selfish player I've ever seen in the history of the sport. Cristiano Ronaldo, in my view, the most selfish footballer I've ever seen. Now, Mohamed Salah makes Cristiano Ronaldo looks like the Red Cross. That's how selfish this guy is. As a matter of fact, I've replaced Cristiano Ronaldo with Mohamed Salah as the most selfish player I've ever seen. Now, being a selfish player really is one of the reasons why I don't admire this guy as a player. I understand that strikers and goal scorers need a certain level of selfishness. Yes, I get that. But he takes it to a different level. There was a game. I believe the game was it was a Premier League game between Crystal Palace and Liverpool. Now, I could be wrong. If I am, please correct me and let me know in the comment section. Where Mohamed Salah had a pass to Sadio Mane. And if you look at it, you'll see that there were like 3 or 4 players around him. And with that in mind, I would say maybe this guy had a 1% chance of scoring. And I'm being generous. Sadio, on the other hand, had a 99% chance of scoring the goal because he was wide open. And all he had to do was just tap it into the goal. Sadio Mane, however, decided that he was going to try and be tricky. You know, I'm a skillful, tricky guy, and I'm gonna show you. And he scuffed it. There were like 3 or 4 defenders around him. And Sadio Mane was livid. He was so upset. And to make things worse, he was replaced by Yurgen Klopp. Right? He was replaced by Yurgen Klopp. Now, Jurgen Klopp, and the irony for me is this, insofar as what's happening between these two today, I believe over the weekend. The irony is this, that Jurgen Klopp has always favored Mohamed Salah over Sadio Mane. He has always overlooked the accomplishments of Sadio Mane in favor of Mohamed Salah. He's always taking him out of games and so on, right? You know, Mohamed Salah. Don't forget, Mohamed Salah is the crown prince of Liverpool. It's something I can never understand, given the fact that, in my view, the two best players for that team were Virgil van Dijk and Roberto Firmino. That's just my opinion. I thought those two guys were the best players on that team, right? Two best players on that team throughout the Jurgen Klopp's tenure. But anyway, as I digress, Mohammad Salah refuses to pass the ball to Sadio Mane, whereas Sadio Mane has always provided assist and setting up Mohamed Salah to score his goals. So now the tiff between these two, I'm just sitting there going, yes, you two, you deserve each other. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Sadio Mane must be sitting there going, yes, yes, there it is. You two deserve each other. Now, Jurgen Klopp is a good coach. Mohamed Salah is a good player. But this legendary status that everybody's bestowing on these two guys, and I'm like, okay, legendary status. Let me see. Jurgen Klopp has won one Champions League and one Premier League. Yes, there are other trophies that they've won in England, to make themselves feel good. But the two leagues that I believe that's worth anything, the Champions League and the Domestic League, and he has won the Champions League once and the Premier League once. So yes, if that's how if that's the level of the bar that you guys are using to bestow status, legendary status on players and coaches at Liverpool, hey, so be it. I mean, if it's that low, right? If it's that low, then hey. I mean, I will give Jurgen Klopp credit for bringing Liverpool out of the doldrums. I mean, it was quite a while. It was quite a very long time before they had won the Premier League, and of course, Jurgen Klopp brought them out of that, and of course, the Champions League as well. I mean, of course, they do have a good history in the Champions League. But anyway, I'm talking about Jurgen Klopp's tenure. I'm not saying the accomplishment is not great. But legendary status and the way they're lauded these guys as legends and legends and legends. I'm like, okay, if it's that low, then hey, you're all legends. I mean, what would you say about Barcelona and people like Messi and Suarez and Neymar? What would you call them? What's the level above that? I mean, you look at the amount of La Liga titles they've won and Champions League they have won. What would you bestow on them? What's the level above legendary? Anyway, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I'm gonna play a video for you. You can sit back, and if you think I'm making this up insofar as what I think of how I see Mohamed Salah as the most selfish player, I'll take a look at this video.
It's very common for club teammates to end up being very good friends off the pitch. They spend a lot of time together and do a lot of things together, so more often than not, they end up being really close. Players get even closer when they're part of a duo or a trio. The best example is perhaps MSN at Barcelona. They were, and even still are, the best of pals. Mane and Salah seemed pretty close a few years back, but it seems like that relationship's not as good as it was before. So the question is, why is that? Why is the relationship between Mo Salah and Sadio Mane not so great anymore? Of course, we don't have all the facts, as we don't know what transpires behind closed doors. But from our observation, here are some of the reasons the pair don't get along so well anymore. Firstly, it seems like there just might be some favouritism in Liverpool that affects this relationship. It's no doubt that since Salah joined, he's been the main man in Liverpool's attack. He has been their main source of goals and surely the man they look up to. But Mane has always pulled his weight too. However, he doesn't seem to get so much recognition for it. These days, with an abundance of options up front, whenever Klopp needs to make a change in attack, Mane always seems to be the sacrificial lamb regardless of how well he's playing. A very good example is the Premier League game against Crystal Palace in 2020. Mane was having a really good game and it looked like he could even go on to get a hat-trick in that game. But in the 57th minute he was taken off and replaced by Salah, who came on and scored 2 goals and gave an assist. Mane was visibly upset when his number went up and he was still not very happy watching the game from the bench. It probably felt worse for him when he saw Salah go and get the goals that should have been his. This has continued even into the current season. There are times when Salah has been absent in games and Mane has been so impressive, but Klopp has instead chosen to take off Mane and leave Salah on the pitch. Actions like this cause Mane to feel some resentment for Salah. Secondly, it seems like Salah doesn't pass the ball to Mane as often as Mane does to him, and this has been a sentiment that's been echoed even by the Liverpool faithful in recent seasons. As of 2019, it was reported that Mane had created about 90% more chances for Salah than Salah had created for him. So many times Salah has been in a better position to pass the ball to Mane, but he would instead choose to take a shot on goal. A perfect example of this was the Premier League game away to Burnley in 2019. Salah was surrounded by about 3 players, while Mane was free with just the goalkeeper in front of him. What did Salah do? He decided to swivel and take a shot with his weaker right foot. Mane was infuriated, and to make things worse, the coach even subbed him off the pitch, and while he was going off, he had a lot of things to say. Even when he was seated on the bench, you could see how angry he was about Salah not passing the ball to him earlier in the match. Trevor Sinclair, former Manchester City winger in 2021, talked about a problem he had noticed between the 2 African superstars. I feel Mane is a huge team player and Salah is more for himself.
So you get what I'm saying. I mean, you can see it. You've seen it for yourself. And the game that I was referring to was against Burnley, not. Yes, of course, the Crystal Palace game was significant insofar as my argument about Mohammad Salah being selfish. But the particular game that I was describing, that I described earlier, was against Burnley, where Sadio Mane was wide open and he refused to pass. Instead, he tried to, as the commentator in the video said, swivel. So you see what I'm saying. I mean, I choose this analogy with Sadio Mane to point out the rift between Jurgen Klopp and Mohammad Salah. To make my point is just to show you how ironic this whole thing is, because this, like I said, this was his crown prince, this was his buddy, this was his man, this was his boy, and he overlooked and even dissed Sadio Mane. Like I said, I'm loving this. I'm pretty sure Sadio Mane must be somewhere going, like, see, there it is. Anyway, let me just let me continue with the second thing on my agenda, and that is Champions League semifinals coming up. Now, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSG, Borussia Dortmund. I'm picking Real Madrid to beat Bayern Munich. It's going to be tough, only because, and Bayern Munich didn't do so well in the Bundesliga. I mean, they finished runners-up, but they really didn't have a good domestic league in the Bundesliga. But don't let that fool you. Bayern Munich is a perennial powerhouse when it comes to the Champions League, and they've always stepped up. So I just hope that Real Madrid do not take these guys lightly. I think that Real Madrid will prevail. I think they're the better side, and I think that they will prevail. Borussia Dortmund and PSG. Now, I want Borussia Dortmund to win, but I think that my objective side of my brain is saying that PSG is a better side and they will prevail, as much as in spite of Kylian Mbappe, who is an afterthought these days. And if I may just say quickly that one of the reasons why I say that Kylian Mbappe is an afterthought, because the young players on that team have stepped up, and just like Mbappe, who? So, yeah, I think that PSG will prevail and meet Real Madrid in the final, and I think that Real Madrid will win the whole thing. So that is, those are my 2 topics for the day. And of course, as you guys know, Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for future content. All right, guys. So until next time, take care and peace out.